every time I think COVID stupidity can't get any dumber, it gets dumber. Dr. Fauci went on yesterday with Neil Cavuto and lied about his shutdown and lockdown advice and tried to claim that he was not responsible for the worst public policy failure of our lives since Vietnam, the COVID shutdowns and lockdowns, which destroyed many businesses, kept kids out of school, and did not make any of us safer. So this story is out there. The Biden administration is now preparing to roll out the boosters. And the boosters are supposedly going to save everybody from COVID. Now, basically, Jill Biden, I don't know if you saw this, Dr. Jill Biden, she's a doctor. Remember, you have to show respect. Dr. Jill Biden has tested positive for COVID again. Like many people who got the initial 2 COVID shots and then the additional 2 booster shots, probably makes you more likely. There's some studies to suggest that if you've gotten the 4 shots, you're actually more likely to test positive for COVID than people who have not gotten the 4 shots. And Joe Biden and Jill Biden would both be evidence of that. Well, Jill Biden's tested positive for COVID again. She's back in isolation anew. And I thought this was interesting. If you want to get the booster is directed towards Omicron. It's mostly going to be useless because we've already had the virus move beyond Omicron, and we have a new variant that's out there. But if you're unvaccinated, so if you're like me, if you have never gotten the COVID shot, you won't be eligible for the updated booster shot until you get the first 2 COVID shots. But we know that the first 2 COVID shots are completely worthless against the current iteration of COVID, the current variant. This is like telling you that you can't buy a new computer until you go and buy a computer from 20 years ago first. Well, you might say, wait, I've got the iPhone 14 or 13 or whatever the heck we're on. Why do I need to buy the iPhone 1 before I can buy the iPhone 13 or 14? Can't I just use the iPhone 13 or 14? It's what I want. It's the most useful right now. And the government is telling you, no, before you can buy the iPhone 13 or 14, you have to first go buy the iPhone 1. And you're like, well, I can't do anything with the iPhone 1. It's useless. Doesn't matter. The government is telling you that you have to go get the 2 initial worthless COVID shots because whatever the COVID protected for, Alpha, I can't even keep up with how many remix editions we've got right now that we're dealing with. We're on, it's like what was the R. Kelly show back in the day? The Trapped in a Closet. We're on like Trapped in a Closet 38, and Trapped in a Closet 1 doesn't matter anymore, right? So I don't know what's going on right now, but the government is telling you that you have to get COVID shot 1 and 2. You have to go out and get the iPhone 1 before you can get the iPhone 13 or 14. Now, look, I'm not getting the booster anyway because it's only going to work for like 6 weeks, and I'm not even sure it's going to work at all because, again, we're already on to farther variants than what they're giving us a shot for now. But if you really want to ensure that everybody out there is not going to get the booster who hasn't already gotten a COVID shot, why in the world is anybody still getting COVID shot 1 and 2? It's completely worthless and might actually even make, in conjunction with the other boosters, you more likely to test positive for COVID. I think this will be able to go up on YouTube, but evidently YouTube has changed their policies because YouTube is now acknowledging that what we've been telling you for 2 years, which are masks are worthless, is now able to be said on YouTube, and you can have a debate. I think we got knocked a bunch of different checks for YouTube violations and Twitter violations and everything else for telling you the truth for years now, which is the data reflects that there's no difference whether you wear masks based on LA or Orange County, based on Davidson County in the Nashville area or Williamson County where I live. Side-by-side counties have consistently shown nearly identical rates of COVID, whether there was a policy in place to support COVID mask wearing or not, it has had zero issues.